So both Shaughna and Demi want Luke M, and it seems that people are beginning to turn on Shaughna. Are her manipulative kind of, scheming ways finally coming to the surface? What are they doing to Shanice and Luke T? What are they doing to Paige and Finley? I simply don't know.
Like, come closer to me and it will solidify our connection. Oh my god.
Hey guys, it's Murali. Hope you guys are doing well today. If you haven't already, click that button for daily and consistent content. Head over to my Instagram, Murad_Murali. Subscribe to my podcast, please. I'd really appreciate it. And then let's get straight into this review. I'm bringing you this video from Rome, Italy. Apologies, if the light's a bit too yellowy. I don't have my ring light on me, so I'm just simply trying my best. And apologies for the lateness of this review. I am abroad, so it's going to be hard for me to come at you, with concordant times when it comes to delivering these Love Island reviews. But we do have a lot to get into because this particular episode was very interesting. I don't know what Natalia is doing. You can tell she's very desperate and she wants to, cling on to this Jamie person so that she can maintain her stay in the villa. What she's doing to Jamie is exactly what she did to Luke M. She just wants to stay in the villa because Jamie and Luke M are not compatible in the outside world. Why would a 20-year-old want to be with a 28-year-old on the outside world? How would that work? I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. Now, I know everybody's going to be asking about Wes and Arabella. They, have a massive age difference, but we both know that that couple is a lot, really and truly, because, I don't understand. People are very worried about Wes and his 5 foreheads and his 50-year-old girlfriend, but we don't need to get into them too, because that situation is never going to be a moment. When it comes to Natalia, I just feel like I'm really over her and done with her. I feel like her character ended before it even began. Nobody was bothered to know her. I feel like I would love for her to play like a good villain. I wish she was somebody who wasn't afraid to say what she wanted to. She was confrontational, came with the drama. She would make a perfect villain, for the show, but unfortunately her character is very anti and dry. And I feel like I'm kind of over her. It feels like this episode is all eyes on Shaughna yet again, and I feel like I'm sick and over the Shaughna Island. Like, it was a lot with Casa or more, but that happened quite a while ago. Let's move on, please. I feel like I'm kind of over Shaughna. Even the trending word by Shaughna was going on. I feel like people were just over it. I'm over it. Please go away. You and Luke M seem heavily forced, and I'm glad that Shanice is obviously regurgitating this information, because I just feel like nobody likes you, wants you guys together. It just seems very, very tiring.
Since when did Shaughna like Luke M? Do I need to say it?
Yes.
And we see Demi falling over, which I feel like was absolutely hilarious. Probably the best moment, in the season, and that says a lot. But that was quite funny. We see, Demi getting very emotional and upset. I don't know why she's getting that emotional. I feel like she's over exaggerating. Doesn't make any sense to me, but evidently she has strong feelings for Luke M. I would prefer Luke M with Demi as opposed to Shaughna, because I feel like Luke M and Demi just suit better.
Since when did Shaughna like Luke M? Do I need to say it?
Yes.
They just have a better compatibility rate and they look good together. They bounce off each other. We like Demi now. So I feel like these two hopefully are doing well. And hopefully Luke M will pick Demi. If Luke M picks Shaughna, I wouldn't be surprised, because I feel like there are some ulterior motives going on here with the producers. We know how they are with their crafty edits. So I wouldn't be surprised when it comes to this particular situation. But hopefully that does not take place, because I don't want them to be together at all. I just feel like Shaughna and Luke M seems to be very, very forced.
I feel like I want to have a chat with Luke. Right, okay. Oh, God. Oh, no. So
We as an audience, we're not dumb. We're not, weird individuals where we're dumb about stuff like this. We know when things are a bit forced and we're kind of just over it, to be honest with you. I definitely am. Shanice and Luke T obviously have that kind of chat. Shanice is somebody who will not let you speak down to her. She will defend herself, and I kind of like her for doing that. I feel like she has every right to be upset, but slight exaggeration going on here as well. I don't think Luke T meant any, disingenuine harm from what he was doing, but at the same time, don't try to be careless. I can understand where Shanice is coming from, and perhaps she does feel a bit embarrassed. But these two, will patch things up, and they were looking really good in tonight's episode. They were dripping. Their fashion was everything. Because I know Shanice is a bit of a hit and miss with me personally, but tonight she was definitely a hit, and I loved the kind of curly wet hair that she was doing. I'm here for all of that. What are they doing to Paige and Finley? I don't understand. I kind of expected more of a let's just say from Paige to be a bit more upset or a bit more irritated by the situation, but she definitely wasn't, and I'm kind of glad in a weird way that she wasn't, and that these two are still on good terms. If they needed to perhaps speak to somebody, maybe that could make Paige feel a certain way, but the guy slept outside. He was very, very loyal. So these fake headlines that are trying to be promoted by producers and whatever, I'm not really here for it. Apparently there's stories going on behind how the fake headlines were made because the producers told people to do them. I don't even know. I'll have to get into that when it comes to my podcast, because that situation I find to be very interesting indeed, most definitely. I don't know where that's coming from or how that took place, but we're going to get into that perhaps later on, either tomorrow morning when my podcast gets released. We then have Priscilla and Mike.
Be letting my guard down and then it gets taken for granted, that's all. So if I have to be a badass, so be it.
I'm kind of glad they're getting a lot of airtime. I'm kind of glad that, you know, Mike's it's becoming a situation where I feel like there's a snowball effect. And what I mean by that is I genuinely feel like people are trying to come for him. And like, okay, he's a game player. He knows what he wants to do, but he hasn't ever juggled two girls at the same time. You know, the way he displayed his kind of behaviour and explained himself with Priscilla, I feel like was very well done.
If that's how you feel, let me show you, because I genuinely do care about you.
He was speaking in a very calm manner and, you know, explaining point with evidence, saying, you know, I wanted Leanne, she didn't want me. I went for Jess, that was going well, but then Casa Amor came and you came along. And now you're here and I will show you, like he showed Jess, I will show you how I'd like to be and how I want things to be with you. And evidently Priscilla is somebody who will not let somebody override her. I like how she's very secure within herself, and she said, you know, I am the shit, I am this. She was getting very emotional herself. I feel like emotions were very high today, and I'm very glad that we got that kind of dynamic, that conversation between these two, because we don't get this type of conversation between them. They hardly get any airtime, and I feel like we saw a different side to their relationship. Whether it be a good or bad side, it's still a different side, and it allows us to build more bridges with them. So I'm very glad that we saw this, and Priscilla and Mike all the way. I feel like, you know, there is some kind of, you know, bullying, kind of defamation, let's just say, going on here with Mike, but I want to leave that, park that to the side. I want to go into that in my podcast, because I've got a lot to talk about that, because that in itself, I'm peeping and I'm seeing, like, I'm putting two and two together. I know what's going on. Hopefully you guys are putting two and two together and know what's really going on as well, hopefully. Who are they going to pick for this particular dumping? I don't understand. I feel like Natalia perhaps will go home. I wouldn't be mad at it. I feel like she is just very irrelevant. I've already said that to you guys, so I'm not going to keep regurgitating that. But at the same time, I don't want Demi to go. I simply don't want Demi to go. I feel like she has potential. I feel like she is a particularly good person. She's funny, she's charismatic, she's one of the few bubbly personalities left now in the villa, and I feel like she adds a lot of depth. But I don't see Shaughna going either, because of course she is a main asset to the villa.
Like, come closer to me and it will solidify our connection. Oh my god. I feel like I want to have a chat with Luke. Right, okay. Oh god. Oh no. So
Clearly the producers do like her. So what I think will happen is Luke will pick Demi, Jamie will pick Shaughna, something like this will take place, and I don't think Jamie will pick Shaughna. Jamie will pick Demi, Luke will pick Shaughna. One of those two will take place and Natalia will be left to go. I feel like she just hasn't given us much, and I wouldn't be surprised upon her leaving the villa. I'm glad that Shanice and Luke T are kind of, you know, back on track, doing well. I'm glad that Paige and Finley aren't entirely, you know, broken, let's just say. They had their disputes, but clearly you didn't reach it, you know, a boiling point for Paige, which I kind of expected. But at the same time, I wouldn't say I would want Paige and Finley to win. I just don't, again, see that charismatic appeal with them. I find them to be quite confusing, and I genuinely just don't see it for them. Hopefully they'll come second or third. Fiat 500 and Scottish population are all for them, so I can definitely see them going very far in this competition. But hopefully for me, currently, I would like Shanice and Luke T to win. Well, I wouldn't be mad at Luke M and Demi if these two get on and, you know, getting on quite well. But we see Demi just being very emotional, and I don't know why she was getting very emotional. It's like just a bit of a high exaggeration going on here. Is it because you genuinely really like him, or you're playing up to the cameras? I simply don't know. Demi is a weird one for me. One minute I love her, the next minute I feel like she's playing a game. And I don't know which one it is. Sometimes it keeps flipping left and right. But I feel like there were a lot of revelations about Shaughna that were kind of revealed to us, where we kind of saw her kind of sneaky side and the way she's going, you know, against the girl code, trying to save herself in a kind of obtuse kind of manner. And we're looking at this behaviour, and I feel like this is Shaughna that has been there all along, and it's slowly creeping out, and people are beginning to see it online, and they are not pleased. If the words by Shaughna is trending a week before the final, I find it very unlikely that she's going to win this competition, and I hope that she does not. But if she does, then we probably know why. And I feel like there's some fixation going on here on her by producers. The edits is like Shaughna Island 24/7, and I feel like, can we just give it a rest, please? Can we give it a rest? Seeing that little scene between Mike and Priscilla was very interesting because we have not seen that dynamic before, and you know, I would like to see more of that, to see the kind of not troubles but the wins and the losses between these two and see how that far could go. I'm not really here for Cheddar and Chess. Everybody saw that kiss that went viral when Cheddar was trying to eat her, and I just feel like that was a lot, and I don't want to see that again. So hopefully, you know, they don't send them to the hideaway. Otherwise, I'm hiding as well. Because let's be real, I don't need to be seeing all that because I feel like it's just a lot. But at the same time, for me, currently Shanice and Luke T, I'd like to win, but I wouldn't be mad at Luke M and Demi if these two get on well and we see a dynamic between them. Let me know your thoughts are when it comes to this particular, you know, review. Apologies again for the lateness. You know, I'm in a different country, different city, so it is a bit difficult to get things out on time when I'm meeting friends and so forth. Do subscribe, please, to my podcast. I'd really appreciate it. Follow me on my Instagram, Murad_Morali. Buy some merch if you guys want to. And apologies for this weird yellowy kind of lighting. I'm trying to do the best that I can, child. Let me know your thoughts are, and I'll catch you guys soon for another video.